here with my good friend Christa Achilles today, and Christa is on staff with Crew along with her husband John, and they are with the ministry called Bridges at the University of Texas, which ministers to international students. And you may wonder why we're in a car today. Well, we were recording in a restaurant, but the music was too loud in the background, so we thought, well, we'll just be in the car and we'll just be very casual with you all. So today I wanted Christa to talk about something that whenever she has shared with me about it, it's so encouraging and hopeful, even though it's about a very difficult topic, and it's the topic of having experienced sexual abuse. And she's going to share a little about her journey today in this video, and then we'll do another video about the things that have helped Christa and can help you or someone you love. So thank you so much, Christa.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary, for giving me the opportunity to come and share just a portion of my story on sexual abuse. I know that it's a story that many of you share. I know it's a story that many of you understand and you can relate to. I will say first that it's not the story I ever wanted to be part of my life. And yet I've seen God do great and mighty things through it for His glory. So I'll just begin by sharing that my sexual abuse began when I was 10. It was by a stepfather who was in my life. So the age of 10, I was just a little girl and just didn't understand really what was happening to me. I would say I was so confused by what he was doing. I really didn't understand why he was doing that or what he was doing to me. But because of his words, he somehow made me think that it was okay. And so I thought in some weird way, maybe he was right. I also began at 10 to realize the power of his words over me, in that he would use his words really to manipulate me so that I would not speak. I would never tell anybody what was happening. So really at 10, it was a really confusing time in my life when that started. It really grew, I think, to the age of 12. I began to be really afraid. Afraid because I had seen already 2 years go by and the abuse had grown into more regularity and more intensity. I began to be afraid that there was really no way out of this. How in the world was this ever going to stop? It was just getting worse. I also became just really embarrassed. My body was changing. I felt ashamed. I felt guilty because he would tell me things that made me feel like this was punishment for actions that I had done in some weird way. So I was really afraid, but I, again, had no way out, and his words and power over me continued to keep me silent. So by 14, I would say that I really began to experience a lot of anger. I was angry, really angry at him because I knew now what he was doing was so wrong. I was angry at myself because I didn't have the courage to speak up and tell somebody what was happening in my life. I was angry at the people around me because I felt like I was giving signals that nobody was picking up on. And I was really angry at God. I was so angry at him because I was a Christian and I was praying that this would end, that he would be caught. And for years that never happened. And so it just made me really angry with God. By 16, this was the time of my life where it stopped. And so for the first time in years, I experienced relief, physical relief, right? He wasn't physically harming me anymore. And I realized that the reason he had stopped his abuse of me is because he had started abusing our neighbor girls across the street. And so while I felt physical relief, I hated knowing that it had started with the girls across the street, and that pattern of sin was now going to other people. So like I told you before, this is not the story I would have ever wanted in my life, and yet I have seen God take me down this beautiful journey, and I look forward to sharing with you this next video of how God has taken something in my life that was so broken and hurtful, and has really been redeeming it in my life for His glory.
Thank you so much, Christa. I know that there are so many people who can relate to what you have shared, either for themselves or for someone that they love. And so, like Christa said, we'll be talking next about some things that can be helpful if this has been your past. But for today, we appreciate it, Christa. Thank you.
You're welcome.